Okay, this is a Porsche 962 IMSA car. This 962 here is considered to be the fastest 962 ever built. This one was by Jim Busby Racing. They built this car. The tub in it is a replacement tub instead of being the standard Porsche tub with a sheet aluminum rear bulkhead and an aluminum tub. This car was originally wrecked, I think it was in its first race, and they thought the car was going to be a total write-off. Ended up it wasn't a total write-off. There was a lot of parts that they could still use from it. And it wasn't in this configuration at that point in time, bodywork wise either. So what they did is Busby got with Porsche and got permission to rebuild the car in the tub. And what he did, he hired Jim Chapman, formerly of Lola, and he had them produce a honeycomb aluminum tub and a milled forged aluminum billet aluminum rear bulkhead. So it made the car much stronger. Al Hobart got wind of this, obviously got it from Porsche because he was the one who was the director of the North American Porsche program for motorsports, and he tried multiple attempts to purchase that first tub. And finally, Busby relented, and Al Hobart ended up getting it, which was the car that they campaigned in Hobart called the HR1, which would have been Hobart Racing 1 for that tub. And that was an extremely successful car for them. But one of the deals made to get that tub was Hobart was getting some engine parts that no one else was getting, and some engine tunes in the Bosch electronic system that no one else could get. So his cars were more competitive than anybody else's. And the deal was, fine, you can have this first tub, but I want those engine parts. And Hobart agreed to it. Well, Porsche in the end said no, couldn't do it. But Hobart ended up with that first tub anyway. So a lot of people don't know it, but Jim Busby used Ed Pink as his engine builder. So he went to Ed Pink and asked them if they could reverse engineer the Bosch system and find some more horsepower. So Ed Pink went to work in his shop, and they reverse engineered the Bosch electronics and that Porsche was using, and that, along with some engine improvements that Ed Pink made, were able to pull another 80 horsepower out of the engine combination and the electronics. And what he said was that allowed him to, on long straightaways, that they could pass other Porsche 962s because of the power that Ed Pink was able to generate from what he did with the electronics and the engine. So while Busby kind of got stiffed by Porsche, he was still a strong Porsche backer, but in the end he ended up with a car just as strong as what they were giving Hobart. This one here, the antenna is over here on this fender. This here is the 1989 Daytona, or 24 Hours of Daytona winning car. This car was completely rebuilt, front to rear. They took some 956 front end clip pieces to make the car more aerodynamic, grafted them onto 962 parts on the front. On the rear, it's more of a slab than the other Porsches. So it's like just straight down the sides. This was mimicking more of the design of the Nissans, which had become the dominant car in the IMSA class. So this one pretty much mimicked that. The rear wing on it is a two-plane wing. Now this car is impossible to find in 1/18 scale. You can look all you want, you're not going to find these. I stumbled upon this one from a guy who makes wall plaques to display the cars, and this one was one of the cars that he had. Unfortunately, on this particular example, it's missing a piece. On the rear of the car, and let me spin it around here, there's supposed to be a wing support bracket. It goes onto this bottom wing here and down into the back of the transaxle case. And then there's a piece of exhaust here. That little piece, which you probably can't see it from there, but a little piece of exhaust was detached. I glued that back on. But the little wing support is missing on this. Now the guy who had it had full disclosure on it, said that piece is missing, but he also said the exhaust piece was missing. The exhaust piece was in the box, and I reattached that. So this car is missing that rear wing support. I wish I could find another one of these cars, because I would like a fully intact one, but this car is almost impossible to find. So it's a very nicely done car. It looks fantastic in person. This gold white with the green trim, Miller High Life sponsorship, BF Goodrich sponsorship, really pops as a car. And do another video here shortly showing you the differences of the engine covers through the years in IMSA. Hope you enjoyed it.